Don't take it personal. The men are just homosocial. It's really that simple. Okay, we're getting right into it. People love the thumbnail. I was searching for thumbnails and I was like, I need to find something. And I was like, oh, everything looks so typical. And then I found that picture and I was like, oh, that's perfect. Perfect picture. But yeah, please don't take it personal. Okay. Men are very much homosocial. Me doing bodybuilding, I honestly believe that this was like the very, very first time that I really noticed the dynamics between men and how they tend to be very homosocial. And really, I would notice it the most when it came to men in like sports. I feel as though if you've ever been around men when it comes to sports and you've been around them when like there's a football game or something like going on, I feel like it's real easy for if you really are paying attention. I feel like it's very easy to see these homosocial dynamics between a lot of these men. Um, Essentially, the way it goes is this, okay? When men are growing up in the way that they're conditioned, they're essentially conditioned to not be a woman, okay? There is no there is no specific rule book on being a man. This is why a lot of men, if you ask them, what is a man? Like Princella the Queenmaker literally just did this last week. She did a live stream on TikTok when she had asked like several different men what it meant to be a man. And they all gave different answers. One of them said it meant to have a penis. Another one said it meant to protect and provide. Another one of them meant they don't have a core identity on what it means to be a man. And the reason why they don't have a core identity on that term is because being a man is just simply not being a woman. Okay, that's the reason why they can get emasculated. The way that a man gets emasculated means he's closer to acting like a woman. It's very simple. Okay, I say all that to say that when men are conditioned as boys on their behavior and how they're supposed to act, they're taught to do everything opposite of how a girl is. So you can't cry. Boys don't cry. You can't show any emotion. You have to be tough. You have to be strong. You have to struggle. Those are all of the things that as little girls we're taught not to do. Okay? That we're allowed to do. We're allowed to cry. We're allowed to show emotion. We shouldn't have to necessarily have to like go through all of these like things and I guess like hold on to struggle, I guess you could say in a way, even though I mean they still really want women to struggle, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But internalizing the struggle and kind of wearing it like a badge of honor is not something typically that is deemed as honorable in society for women to do. That is something that men are going to get rewarded for doing. So it can be very hard for men to actually like women when they are demonized for acting like women. Therefore, they're not going to like women. Okay. It's just really that simple. You can't like something that you're taught to demonize. Okay. That just doesn't make any sense. Honestly, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you don't like a fruit, like if you don't like eating the whole fruit, in most cases, you're not going to like the fruit if it's like mixed in something else, like a food. If you don't like that food, it doesn't matter what way you get that food in a different type of form. It doesn't matter. You don't like the fucking food. It just is what it is. Men cannot, trust me, men are not that evolved, okay? Men are not that evolved where they could just sit here and hold space for the very same gender that they're told to not be like, okay? They're not that evolved. They can't compartmentalize and separate the two that good, okay? This is why a lot of the projection it's a lot of projection that is coming from men, and the reason being is because internally they've really been trained and conditioned to hate women because there's parts of themselves that they want to be, because the thing about it is that having emotions is just a basic human experience. Okay, crying, that's a human experience. That's not gender based. Having emotions is a human experience. That's not gender based. So, when men are forced to repress a lot of things and then they see women being able to like openly do those things, I already made another video talking about how that makes them jealous. Well, guess what? If there's a man, if he's a man and he's upset and jealous over the fact that a woman can cry and have emotional repressions, there's an emotional outlet. There's a ton of other men out there that feel the same way as him. So what do you think that they're bonding over? They're bonding over the fucking fact that they cannot do things that women cannot do. This is where the I don't want to say the name, but the maroon capsule, okay, the pill, okay. They're weird about using that term on social media now because I guess they've considered it like not hate speech, but like they've really assimilated that community with a lot of bad things. So I don't want to say it because I want to keep this video up because it's already going to be very triggering. This is how you get that pill community. The reason why you have that pill community is because it's a bunch of men who are angry and upset over the fact that they are not allowed to do things that women do or are allowed to do. So they're bonding with one another over the things that women are allowed to do because they're not allowed to do it. Over time, it's like with any other vulnerability. When you have a shared vulnerability with somebody, what does that do? What does that do in relation to your relationship with that other person? It gets you guys closer. It gets you bonded. When you have shared vulnerability with another person, it makes you like that person more. So these men are never going to tell you this, but that's really where it's coming from. A lot of them are bonding over the damage that patriarchy has done to them. That's one component of it. Another component, the constant pedestalization of male validation. A lot of men are not aware of this, okay, because men are not evolved, okay? Men are so easy to be subconsciously programmed. It's ridiculous. You probably couldn't even ask a man to define what subconscious programming is. That's the lack of evolution that they inhabit within themselves. They don't even realize that they're doing this shit subconsciously because I've tried to tell men that they do this and they so badly don't want to admit the fact that they do this. They subconsciously are constantly performing for other men because patriarchy is a performance. Patriarchy is nothing but a construct of acting. That's all it is. Okay? Patriarchy is nothing but a system created by men for men to say whoever is the best actor gets the most reward. It's really that simple. It's a stage that has been created for men by men for them to all perform on. And women and children are the lead roles and the lead props in this performance of patriarchy that they must exhibit to be considered a man. So a lot of women get in the crossfire of this because men understand. There was a woman on TikTok and she said it perfect. She said the only reason why men are with women is so that they don't look gay. And no truer words have ever been spoken because that's really what it is. A lot of these men are only with you or they only want to be with a woman to not look gay because the patriarchy is simply telling them that that's what the fuck they're supposed to do. Men are very submissive. This is the reason why it is so easy for them to be subconsciously programmed. It's very easy for you to tell. It's very easy for a man to tell another man what to do, and a man's just going to do it. Okay? Because patriarchy has already set things up where men respect other men, which further goes into them being homosocial. Men are always going to respect what another man says. And the reason why is because they have this shared vulnerability. Okay, because they're going to feel like less of a man if they have this vulnerability with you. This is the reason why when I was stripping in the club, a lot of these men, they exposed a lot of their vulnerabilities and like a lot of their things that they were like ashamed of, or kinks that they were ashamed of and stuff like that, because they don't want to tell, they already have a Madonna horror complex. Okay, so they don't want to tell, the mother of their children that, I don't know, they like random things up their back hole. They don't want to tell the mother of their children that just, for them, they can't share that level of vulnerability. So they'll go on ahead and they'll tell a S worker for that, because men have to perform and play different roles for different people. For most men, the person that he's actually going to be vulnerable with, especially the space that we live in now, when women are more privy to men being DL, women are more privy to men being more feminine, more sassy, things like that. Women are catching on. So that's kind of making men have even more shared vulnerability with other men, because they're not going to go to a woman and expose how they're really feeling about these types of things. They're going to go to a man for that, because that's who they respect, and that's the other gender, that's the other only person that will be able to actually understand what the fuck he's talking about. Okay? So as you're going to see, as women get more and more smart and they keep calling out the shit just like how they see it, you're going to see these men get more close with each other. They're going to get closer and closer and closer with each other, because men are the only people that they can run to be able to share these types of things. And they have too much pride that they don't ever want to admit it to a woman, because another thing too is that if men were to admit all of these things to a woman, it would require them to put the mirror up to themselves and reevaluate themselves, and to ask themselves more questions, and to actually confront themselves for who they are. Like, I think of, Bruce / Caitlyn Jenner. Occasionally I'll think about like how all that stuff happened with, like, Bruce turning into Caitlyn. And honestly, the reason why Bruce turned into Caitlyn was simply because he was the only man in the house. He was the only man in the house full of girls. The only fucking man. He got to see his daughters dress up and wear wigs, wear all this makeup, do all this stuff. And deep down, he's like, I want to do that. I want to be excited to wake up and get my hair done and walk out the salon looking like a new person. I want to look forward to going shopping and wearing new colors and heels and stuff like that. He just was honest with himself. And he was like, listen, I want to be able to do that because that shit looks fun. And a lot of men are fucking thinking that. There are a lot of men that are actually thinking that shit looks fun what these girls are doing. They're over here shopping, getting their nails done, getting new nail colors, getting their toes done, getting all types of cool designs, and they get to change their hair and things like that. They're literally looking like that shit looks cool. I want to be able to do that. But of course they're too cowardly because they care so much about what other men think. They care way too much about what other men think. So for most men, they're not going to swallow their pride, and really sit with this and deal with like the shame and, the judgment, the belittling, the bullying. They don't want to deal with all of that to be able to live in their truth, most of them. So this is why a lot of them, they keep their homosocial relations public, and then their homosexual relations private. Okay. And then, like I said earlier in the live stream, a lot of them do that shit over sports. Okay. Um, a group of men going to the gym together. If you dealing with a man and he's going to the gym with a group of other men, child, good luck. Good luck, girl. Okay, especially if it's late. If it's after like 9 p.m., he's going to the gym. Already after 9 p.m., if he's going to the gym, that's already a red flag. But especially if he's going with a group of other men, oh, child, homosocial and homosexual. Okay, they're out having a good time with other men because honestly, they, like I said before, they get to vent to other men about these types of things. And yes, wanting wanting validation from men, the only reason why they are even, I don't, if I could be completely honest, okay, this is probably going to sound crazy. Okay, if I could be completely honest, I don't even think men, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but please let me know if you agree or not. I really, deep down, I don't think men actually enjoy sleeping with women. I'm not saying that they hate it. I'm not saying that like the actual act is like uncomfortable for them. But when I really think about it, I think what makes men want to sleep with women is the validation. It's the validation that they're getting from conquering something. That is actually what's giving them enjoyment, not the actual act of them sleeping with the woman. It's the validation. It's them actually being like, yes, I feel as though I'm accomplishing something. And the reason being is because the last guy that I dealt with, the one that I told you that I had been seeing with for a year, he told me this. And when he told me that, I was like, huh. Cuz we were like talking about it or whatever. And he was like, no, he was like, I care more about like this is how I feel that certain men are when, okay, I have like two theories. Okay, I have two theories. Okay, so like men that really don't care about getting the woman off at all, like they'll just finish in like 2 fucking minutes and like they don't care. Those men, in my opinion, they're 100% DL, 100% DL. Like those men are gay. Those men aren't even like bisexual. Those men are 100% gay. They really don't even want to be doing it for with a woman at all. Okay, they're really just doing it just to do it because someone's telling them that that's what they're supposed to be doing. Those like quick pumpers, gay. I don't even give them the bi title. Okay, that's theory number one. Okay, the second theory is that the men that actually are pretty like, I don't know, I guess generous in the bedroom or whatever, it's not that they dislike sleeping with women, but once again, it kind of goes back to the point that I made earlier. It's the validation that they're getting. They actually feel like they're achieving something because they're able to conquer something and they're able to attach themselves to the status of sleeping with a woman. Now, if you're an attractive woman, that makes it even better for their ego and for them to feel good about themselves. But that's what one of the guys said to me. He was very generous in the bedroom, and I was like, oh, so you don't care at all, like you don't care about like finishing or anything like that? And he was like, no, not really. He was like, honestly, he's like, when I'm sleeping with you, I just feel like I'm doing something right. Like I just feel as though like I'm actually doing something right in life. And I was like, doing something right in life, because in my head I'm not sleeping with anybody thinking that it's like some goal that I'm accomplishing, like it's getting me closer to something. And so I kid you not, like I wrestled with that for a while because that's not the first time that a man's ever told me that. I've had men tell me like, yeah, I feel like I'm actually doing something. I actually feel like I'm able, like I'm accomplishing something. And I'm like, shouldn't you also be accomplishing getting a nut? Like, that's kind of weird, but whatever. Shouldn't you also be, trying to like have that happen too at some point? But okay, whatever. So yeah, in my opinion, I think, okay, like, yeah, there's like a certain amount of pleasure that they get from it. But I think more than anything, it's just patriarchy enforcing that idea in their brain that when you're able to sleep with women, it increases your value. And obviously, they're able to siphon energy through women when they're sleeping with us, which also is a reason why I think that they kind of like it. But in the way that they try to make it sound as if they like it, I don't believe that that's the way that they like it. Because also another thing too that points to homosocial, get on any corn site in how men talk. When men talk about schmex, it's really just violating women physically. Like, they say that they hit us. Okay, yeah, I hit that. I tapped that. I smashed that. Those are all words of like impact, like words of like heavy impact. Okay, like on corn, they say like, oh yeah, he's damaging, he's destroying, like he's ruining. Like they're using all of these like desecrate, like words of like desecration, like as if like they're just straight up like trying to ruin somebody. And in my head, I'm like, there's no way that you can like there's no way that you can like women when you're actually describing doing something like that with a gender that you supposedly like. Like, that's freaking weird. Like, to me, that's super, super, super weird. So I feel like that also kind of ties in more to like the homo social thing, and then them also like wanting to be more like homosexual, in my opinion, and why like we have so much more of like DL culture too. um and like I said before, it's getting to the point now where men cannot use women as props is easy, because women are smartening up and women are not allowing themselves to be as accessible to men. Um, which means that men are not going to go without. Okay, that's never going to happen. Men are going to find something. I always say a man's thought process is, I'm leaving here with something. That's the reason why you shouldn't even care about their validation. You shouldn't care about getting any attention from them. You shouldn't care if they text you back, if they take you out on a date. You shouldn't care about any of that stuff, because a man's mindset is always going to be, I'm leaving here with something. I'm getting something out of this. I'm going to make something happen. They don't care where it's coming from. Man, woman, animal, child, corpse. They don't care where they're getting it, as long as they're getting it, because men are dead inside. Men are dead inside. Like, it's kind of crazy. Honestly, it's kind of creepy. Working in the strip club, men will show out for men, but we would just be there as prop to their fun and need for attention. Yeah, like back in the golden days. Well, really, when I was working, it really wasn't the golden days. That was a little bit earlier in the 2000s. But I remember when I worked in the club, and men would be showing out for other men on how much money they could spend on the woman at the club, and I'm like, you guys are over here trying to impress like all of these dudes that y'all are with, like straight sausage fest at the club. And don't get me wrong, I'm like, make it rain, throw the money. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we would get the money throwing men, them younger men. Because yeah, younger men really have it bad. Usually, as men get older, they don't care. The older the man, the less he's going to care. About him trying to impress another man, okay? Because he's already old, okay? You know what they say, as people get old, their modesty already, it becomes non-existent. Men don't care about that shit as they get older anymore. It's the young ones. Those young ones love to come and throw money. And yeah, the reason why they're throwing money is because they want to impress other men. They want to go with a whole posse of men at the club and then see who's going to spend the most money. And like you said, women are just going to be a prop to that. We're just, little extras in side roles in their little show. They don't want to cast us as the, co-star, definitely not the main role. They don't even want to have women as a co-star. We're just a side role in their life. They're the main character and the only character. It's not even a co-star in a man's life. So, they care a lot. And then another thing too, what'll happen is that a man's only going to be so good. A man's only going to be so good to a woman as long as his social circle allows it. This is another thing that will ruin a lot of people's relationship. If a man is jealous of a man, because see, sometimes I gotta be careful of that. Sometimes your op ain't even another woman. Sometimes it's the man. It's one of his friends or something. He's upset because he thinks that like you're beautiful and like maybe the boyfriend or husband is like bragging about you and stuff like that, and he's having a very hard time dating and he can't get nobody. And so the first thing that the jealous man's gonna do, he gonna start getting in his ear. Well, are you sure about that? Are you sure you don't want to look deeper into that? And they're going to start planting a seed of doubt in the man's head. And then all of a sudden, that's when your man's going to start acting fucking crazy and acting weird because he cares more about what his friends are saying as opposed to, what's actually going on in the relationship, which is fucking nothing. There's nothing wrong. Hey, Tatum, I haven't seen you in a while. I literally was thinking about you. I was like, this is what I get for not scheduling my live streams. I was like, I got to schedule my live streams again so that way I could see my regular people that I always see. Nice to see you again, girl. They will literally let a whole nother man sabotage their relationship. And then also another thing that they'll do too, a man being faithful, once again, sometimes it's not even the woman. Sometimes a man is gonna talk another man out of continuing to be faithful. Okay, we're on a boys trip, we're having a good time, you can't be acting like you're married, you can't be acting like you're in a relationship while we're on vacation, you're not supposed to do that. They'll go far too. I've seen it plenty of times working in the strip club. These men literally will sit here, they will coerce their homeboy harder than they'll coerce a goddamn woman to sleep with him. I'm telling y'all, they will coerce the fuck out of their homeboys. See, I got two girls over here, one for me, one for you. They'll do anything to get that guy off his path, off of what he's doing. And for a lot of men, because they respect and they don't want to be called whipped and they don't want to be, called a simp, and they're so concerned about what their homeboys are going to think about them, they're going to go on ahead and do it, okay? Because they rather have a man that they know saying, yeah, see, he was a real man last night. See, they rather hear that than hear, oh, you punk, you sucker. See, she's got you whipped. At the end of the day, men's behavior is always going to be at the expense of women when another man is around. Always. Their behavior is always going to be at the expense of women when it's another man around. It's really not it's no way around it. It's no way around it. That's why when I was dating, I was like, I don't like these men to have no friends. I didn't like them to have no friends. I'm like, y'all are too easily swayed. Okay. I was like, I don't want this man to have no friends. Yep. Exactly. Because I've already made videos about it, but men of means, men that are this is also why I tend to go for business owners. Most of my boyfriends have been business owners. I kind of feel as though men that are business owners or they own their own practice, they have their own entity and their own flow of money and they're not working under another person. 9 times out of 10, those men tend to really not care a whole lot about what other people think. Hence why they're a business owner in the first place, because they didn't want to listen to what anybody wanted to fucking say. That's why they're not working under anybody, right? Hold Okay. Sorry about that. Um, yeah. So it's like, no. Usually when I would deal with like business owners, I wouldn't have to worry about that a whole lot. Um, but yeah, and the thing about it is that I'm trying to think. Oh, so there was like one guy that I was dealing with or whatever, and like he had such a hard time. He was really annoyed with like me being authentic in public, like me actually wanting to like state my opinion, me wanting to actually say what I would feel, and he would get so pissed off. He'd be like, "You're not supposed to do that. Like, I don't like, no, you're not supposed to do that." And I'm like, "Fuck you and fuck what you have to say. Like, then you don't like me. If you want to police what it is that I'm saying when I'm not being disrespectful, fuck you." That's a clear sign. If a man doesn't want you to be authentic and he cares so much about what other people think, in most cases, he's homosocial. Okay. That's a clear sign that they care about what other men think as opposed to just caring about authenticity, because men are not authentic. Men are the furthest thing from authentic. Most of them, they are going to do exactly what they're being told, because a lot of them, they're too afraid of getting shamed. They're too afraid of getting called a name. They're too afraid of getting called gay. It's like, dude, you're gonna be okay. Oh yeah, that's right. You were getting on there early. I'm 3 hours behind. That's true. Because I forgot you're on the whole other side of the world. Men are actively discouraging men from wanting to be with women when they talk like that, but then they want to act surprised when women call them out for that behavior. That's why I said, unbeknownst to men, they are so programmed that they don't even realize what they're doing subconsciously. They really don't understand what they're doing subconsciously, because as long as it's coming from another man, they don't see any wrongdoing in it. That's how controlled they've been for so long that they don't even understand the fact that you want to deal with women while actively allowing men around you to get you to not be palatable to women. You want to be with a man. If you wanted something that bad, you wouldn't allow other people to sway you out of obtaining that thing because you don't like that thing. It shouldn't be that easy, especially when you're crying and complaining about how you can't obtain that thing. That makes no sense, because like I said earlier, it's the prop that they want regarding a woman, not actually the woman. So men always are having to wrestle with this idea of what it is that they should be doing. Well, I'll just be alone and I'll get my homosocial rocks off. I get my homosocial rocks off from my men in my life, and I'll just sit here and be lonely. But then if I sit here and be lonely, people are going to think I'm a weirdo because I don't have a woman. And then if I spend too much time with my male friends, then I'm just going to straight up look gay. So they're over here trying to decide, do I look gay? Do I look lonely? Or do I look straight and just tolerate dealing with a gender that I don't even really like for real? You know what I mean? That's really why that's the demons that these men are struggling with. And it's like, you wouldn't have to struggle with any demons. Just do what the fuck you want. Like, oh, men really be pretending that they're drowning in shallow water. Like the water will be right here, and they're like, oh my God, I'm drowning. Oh my God, save me. It's like, dude, like you could just stand up in the water. Like, oh my gosh, these complaints for what? This is how you know women like men. A man could literally kill your cat, and the woman will say he was just having a bad day and she should support him in his time of need. Exactly. Exactly. It's like, who cares? Who cares at that point if you really, really like a gender? People that actually like someone are not looking for every little reason and every little excuse to not like somebody. I'm sorry. Because the reasons that women have for not liking or having things that they don't seem to be palatable in men versus the things that men say are completely different things. Okay, women are talking about money. Last time I checked, you need money to survive. Okay, money is a requirement for the well-being of yourself. And these will be the men that say that they want children. So you want children, you want a family, but the requirement of you having the things to sustain said family, like that's just a trigger. But men will sit here and be like, "Oh yeah, we hate hair and nails and lashes." As if any of those things are pivotal to anybody's fucking survival, especially if the woman is paying for it already. Like, come on, like survival, luxury. One person is concerned about survival, the other person is concerned about luxury. I mean, come on. It's the laundry list of like little nitpicky things that men don't like in women. It's this exhaustive list of things that really aren't going to make a difference on a grand scale. It's really, really not. It's just all regarding their ego. I can't cash a check with a man's ego. I can't raise a family off of a man's ego because he would rather me have my hair be natural and me not get my nails done because in his mind it believes he believes that, oh, I won't get as much of attention, or it's not going to, I guess, harm finances. But it's like I'm already paying for it anyway. Half of the time when I'm going out and I'm seeing women with their boyfriend and they're out getting these things done, their hair done, their nails done, whatever, whatever, half the time the woman is paying for it. No, not half the time. 80% of the time, the woman's paying it for it herself anyway. Lately I've been seeing the men do the broke man, I call it the broke man creep around, when they go around the girl while she's paying and they're like, like, sir, stand over there and make it obvious because it's clear you're not paying for this shit. The girl done already whipped out her wallet or her phone for Apple Pay. It's already clear you're not paying. I don't know why you're trying to cover this woman up from the back as if I couldn't see that you didn't pay for any of this stuff. Like, come on. Do you believe that men and women can just be friends? No. If a man ever wants to share space with a woman, it's because he wants something. Okay? It's very simple. They want something from you. They may not want it today. They may not want it tomorrow. But women have to realize that you have something that men want. Okay? Your energy, your time. Think about how men describe women. Oh, I love her voice, how she smells, her soft skin. Think of all of the things that men name that they deem to be attractive in women. Just you allowing a man to be in that space and enjoy those things, that's a win for them. It doesn't seem like a lot to us because, like, that's just what we do, but men don't do that. So that's the reason why men admire it. And that's the reason why men like it, because ain't no man coming up to no man like that being like, "Ooh, you smell good. Your voice is nice. Your skin is soft." They're not doing that with another man. They can only do that with women. So you can't be friends with them because they want something from you. And yes, your voice, your skin, your smell, that is a form of currency for men. And like I said, I know it may not seem like it's that big of a deal because it's like, okay, it's just perfume, it's just my voice, it's just my skin, I use moisturizer, but men see it as a big deal. That's the reason why you have to understand that it's valuable. That's the reason why you have to understand that as a woman, your presence is very valuable to a man because women have energy and men like to siphon that energy. Go look up pictures of men. This is why women glow up after they're done with a relationship or maybe after a divorce, because they don't have anybody siphoning their energy. This is why men that look married, I did an experiment at my own job just to prove myself right of this. All of my male patients, I would look at them before I looked at their hand and I would be like, oh, I could tell he's single. Oh, I could tell he's married. The men who were married looked real good. Okay. The men that were married smelled real good. They were put together nicely. It's because they have that feminine energy, that life force energy from the woman that they're able to siphon. This is why women don't live as long when they're married. Okay, because she's losing her energy by giving her energy to him. Okay, so it's the same thing in a friendship. It's still a form of energy siphoning. Men just can't do it on a grand scale, but they're siphoning your energy. I look at it like this: your energy should be sacred, and in my opinion, when most men are not going to be worthy of that energy to siphon from you, even if it's in a friendship, because they want something. Men always go to places where they want something. Okay, men don't go to places just for the vibe. They're going to go to a place because they want something. Men are very intentional. Okay, and men are lazy, and so because men are lazy, they're not going to go out of their way to get something. They're not going to go out of their way to do something or be around somebody if they don't want something from that person. Okay, always remember that. If they're there, it's because they're expecting something. Okay. My best friend of 20 years is a man, and he is married with 2 kids, and we've never been intimate. I believe it's possible, though it is rare. Stay friends with him. Hopefully he doesn't get a divorce. I mean, I wouldn't wish that on nobody. See how quick he switch if he get a divorce. If that man gets a divorce, I guarantee you he's gonna try to break that friendship y'all got. Men will wait it out 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They don't care. They don't care. Men will keep women that they consider a friend close to them just because it's accessible in their brain. Them just having a woman around, even if they haven't done anything with her, they look at it as it's an opportunity to have access. So they rather be having a woman there on ice in case the opportunity presents itself. That way he didn't have to go out and start all over again from square one. Men are willing to invest all of that time. What do you think of men that want women to build with them? Those aren't men. Okay, those aren't men. No. If a man wants somebody to build with him, tell him to hire a construction worker, hire an engineer. Okay, those are the perfect people that will help him build. You can't call yourself a man and say that you want a woman to help build you. That should repulse you immediately. As soon as it's going to be before as soon as he says, I want a woman that could be that, nope, disqualified. Disqualified. You should be disgusted by hearing a man say that he wants a woman to build with him. You cannot say that you're a man and need help building in the same sentence. You can't. Because these are going to be the same men that are going to look at you and demand respect and want you to be submissive. So, help me, do what I say. What the fuck? Would you really deem your boss to be your boss if your boss was constantly bringing you into the office and being like, so I have a proposal to make for my bosses and I need you to help me with the proposal to impress my bosses? And you're going to look at your boss and be like, but you're my boss. Why would I be doing your work to impress your boss? You're the boss of me. You're supposed to be the boss of me, at least. So that's how I look at it when men say they want a woman that's going to build with them. I don't want my boss coming to me telling me that he wants me to build stuff for his boss. No, that's your job. Your job is just to tell me what to do for my job, right? Not to technically help you. You telling me what to do for my job is only to help you. I'm not going to help you build anything for your bosses. That's stupid. How can you can't I can't look at somebody with respect. Mm-mm. You cannot simultaneously help build a man and respect him. Just not going to work. I swear, a man is like a volcano you thought was dormant until that hoe erupts and you got 5 minutes to evacuate. I'm telling you, women have a switch and men have a switch, but their switch is very different. Women have a switch with being in love and then just completely being out of love. Like, we're on you, we're all about you, we are 100% in and we're 100% out. Men have a switch of, I'm going to pretend like I'm your lover and I'm your friend, and then I'm just going to switch to being a complete sexual deviant, being it and just completely wanting to push up on you and be all over you. And then there's levels to that. You know what I mean? They could go from a loving person to being very abusive. You know what I mean? But most of the time, the switch for men, especially if they're kind of claiming to be in that friendship zone, is just going to go from friend to sexual deviant. It'll be 20 years. 20 years will pass. And then next thing you know, it'll be the 100th time you've come over to his house. 100th time you've been over there. This man ain't did nothing. And you go use the bathroom. You come out the bathroom. This man pants at his ankles. You're going to be like, what the what did I do to implicate that this was okay? What vibe did I give off to make you think that we was having this type of party? And you'll be all types of confused. You won't even know where any of that energy came from. It's just some random thought popped up in his brain and he was like, you know what, it's either now or never. I'm pretty for sure that's what men tell themselves after investing that much time. It's either now or never. I don't have they getting old. They probably got diagnosed with some type of life altering disease. He's like, ugh, I have diabetes or I have COPD. If I don't try now, I might die in the next 5 years. I don't have another 20 years to invest in this friendship to wait that long. I gotta shoot my shot now before I'm in the hospital. They don't want to die and regret them not even trying. So if it's time for them to get a divorce or they've had some type of health issue and they've been your friend, those are probably one of the two times that they're going to try to take an opportunity to show you that they didn't just want to be friends. They just acted. Men are really good actors. Honestly, I think at this point, like I said before, I think it's subconscious. It's out of survival. They have to manipulate and play it cool out of survival. I don't even think they're consciously aware of what they're doing. Going to be interesting when more guys use those AI chatbot girlfriends, digital energy siphoning in exchange for data collection. Child. I need there to be a full-on giveaway of like AI robot girlfriends. Like, I need these men to have all access to these things. I want them to completely not even be thinking about us. I want them to be occupied and entertained with something else. Exactly. They should get into a trade if they want to build themselves. What do you do on a day as far as if a person offers to buy you things? Do you accept anything at any time? Do you say no? Or do you be greedy? Child, I'm going to be greedy every time. Whenever men offer things, I keep getting as much as I can until they say no. Okay, until they say no. And that's the thing too. Men are too afraid to say no. So you have to understand like the little hints that they're gonna drop to get you to want to stop, and then you have to know how to like weasel your way out of getting them to convince you to not get it. Because especially early on, if it's early on, men are not going to feel all that comfortable telling you no because they like still want you to be around. So they don't want to be too abrasive. So usually they're going to be like, don't you think that that's enough? Or, they'll try to say it in like a nice type of way or whatever. And, I'm like, no, 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 let me try it on for you. Like, let's just, you got to dumb it down a little bit. I'm not going to get it, but let me just try it on for you. And you got to make sure it look real good on you. You got to make sure it's like the perfect thing that'll fit you. Oh, that looks good. See, it doesn't look good. Don't you want to see me? Don't you want to see me wearing this? Or, don't you love these heels or something like that? And then usually they will get it for you. But, I'm greedy. Okay. I'm greedy because I don't know. What if I get annoyed of them and I don't want to talk to them anymore? I try to get them for as many things that I can. This dude who I thought could be a friend sent me a DM one day. Let me hit before we get. That's crazy. That not him over here trying to use a scarcity tactic on you. Not him trying to use a scarcity fear-mongering tactic on you. Like, yeah, I'm afraid that the world's going to end. Like, that's how you know that's where men's mind is. That's how you know where men's mind is. Because women are not thinking that at all. Okay, if we knew in 24 hours the world was getting bombed, guarantee you I would say a decent amount of women would not be out here trying to get one last D in for the road. I mean, I know I wouldn't. I'd be trying to spend time with my loved ones. Meanwhile, men would be over here trying to sleep with anything walking. Did you hear that? We only got 24 hours. We only got 24 hours left on earth. If you don't take the opportunity to sleep with me now, you're never going to get it. Well, I guess it'll just be a missed opportunity because I don't want that shit. If you don't get this now, you're never going to get it. Well, then I guess I'll never be getting it because I don't want any of that. No thanks. Sorry. This dude bought me a drink and said he bought me too much. Yeah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Like a drink. If a drink is too much, then what's not enough? Like a drink, not even $20, depending on if you're in a major city, maybe $20 after tip is too much. No. Mm-mm. Scarcity mindset. I can't do it. Because that's the thing too. Even when men have money and they still have a scarcity mindset, it's the biggest turnoff. It's like you should be so confident in your skills to make money that you should never have fear of running out of money. That's another thing too with me. That's a large turnoff. It's one thing to be a broke man, but when you're a man that has money and you're stingy, that's even bigger of a turnoff than a broke man. Because see, a broke man, he has a scarcity mindset and he's just straight up lazy. Okay. The components all match. But when you have money and then you're stingy, it's like that means you don't trust yourself. That means you don't trust yourself to be able to get money, like get it again. Like, who's to say I didn't like? And that's the thing. Men will have a scarcity mindset over money. Meanwhile, like, I'm sorry. One of the reasons why I'm child free is because if I have a baby, I'm sorry. I want to like the way that my baby looks. I don't care how that makes me sound. I can't sit here and give my baby back or give it or do something with my baby because I don't like the way that it looks, or I don't like the way that my child comes out. I can't have take backs on having a child. You can always get your fucking money back. I couldn't get my vagina back after it's been ripped and desecrated and all stitched and hemmed up after giving birth. I can't get a brand new one. You can always make more money. So if you don't live in an abundance mindset as a man where you can trust yourself, where if something were to happen, you can make more money, or you have enough sources of income where you're not going to totally be asked out if, a stream of income stops flowing for you, well, that's an issue. And that's what I always say too. The laundry list that they will have will be so extensive for women, but it's like, I guarantee you that the men, they're worried about the lashes and the nails and all that hoopla. Listen, the most natural person on the world, in the planet, is always going to be a man. Okay, men are so natural, they won't even grow hair. It don't get no more natural than that. Okay, these men talking about, I want somebody natural. A bald man is natural, baby. That's out the womb natural, because a lot of babies ain't born with no hair. That's as natural as it gets, baby. You ain't never got to worry about a man wearing makeup. You ain't never got to worry about a man getting his nails done. You ain't ever got to worry about that. There's a video on YouTube called Most Black Men Are on the DL or Partially Zesty by a Black Man. It's kind of funny. It confirms what you say. Too funny. Once my ex told me he didn't want to live anymore because he lost his truck driving contract. I was too through. Chow. I even talked to my dad about that because my dad owns multiple businesses. And I'd even told my dad that. My dad was like, no. My dad was like, any man who would want to unalive himself, any man who feels as though he would be at a loss because he spent money on a woman and the situation didn't work out. My father always says, he's like, that's a weak man. You're weak. He's like, if you don't know how to face adversity and how to like overcome the adversity for just having a regular normal experience, such as losing money, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's a normal human experience, losing money. Okay, everyone's lost money at some point in their life. Like, come on. Like, literally, thousands of dollars. You're going to be okay. Figure it out. Not wanting a number for a Tic Tac. I would have spit that Tic Tac out so fast. I would have spit it out. Or I would have given him one digit of the number. I would have been like, so you want my number? Okay. I would be like, and I would pretend like I would just be doodling little stars and stuff on there to try to make it seem as if I was giving him an actual number, and then fold it up and be like, there you go, that's my number. He's gonna be like, it's only one digit on here. Exactly. I'm matching your effort. You gave me a Tic Tac. You said a number. You said a number. One is a number. So there you go. You gonna give me a Tic Tac and think I'm about to give you my full contact for a Tic Tac? Oh, please. Child, or I would have wrote 911. I would have wrote 911 on there. Please call the police on yourself. That's a criminal offense. That's a criminal offense for even thinking some dumb shit like that. Aw, thank you. Queen, do you think that there is men that are actually monogamous? Yeah, the ones that can't get nobody else. The ones that can't get a man or a woman. Don't nobody want them. They ain't got no choice but to be monogamous. Homosocial, is that why they like to bother lesbian ladies at the club? They like to bother lesbian ladies at the club because men always want to conquer something, which kind of does go back into them being more homosocial or more homosexual, because they really only see women as just something to conquer. And for a lot of men, a lesbian is like the top form of conquering, because they're like, I'll be able to talk her. I'm so special. I'll be able to talk her out of being a lesbian. Like they really have that much, audacity. It's like, dude, no, you don't even have the right equipment. Okay. Like, no. Mm-mm. And then in reality, the reason why they want to do it is because they want to go brag about it to their friends. Guess what, man? I got this lesbian to sleep with me. Yeah. She said she hadn't slept. Like, listen, one guy, it was actually one guy that I had dated for a little bit. He ended up telling me how he got chlamydia. He told me that he got chlamydia. He claimed he got chlamydia from this girl. And he's like, but she told me she was a lesbian. So I didn't understand how I was able to get chlamydia from her. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, okay, someone's lying. I don't know which two of you it was, but one of you is fucking lying. What's going on here? And he was in the military. I'm like, something's off here, sir. Why would you even repeat? Why would you even tell me that? I could have lived my whole life without fucking knowing that information. Exactly. That story deserved to stay in the pits of hell. Exactly. I'm like, why the fuck are you telling me that you got chlamydia from a lesbian? I know a so-called guy friend who was bragging about sleeping with a lesbian. I'm telling you, women are nothing but props. Like that's all we are to men. Okay, just Pokemon cards, trading cards, bragging rights, a sign of value and status. It very well could have been. And looking back, like, especially over time, I don't talk to him anymore. But man, that guy had told me some things, and we had kept in touch despite being distant, and his eyes started getting more and more like there was things happening in his eyes, and I was just like, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, I'm good. I haven't talked to him in a long ass time. But I was like, his eyes is giving something's happening up there. I don't want to find out what it is, but something going on up there. Yeah, because women have life force energy. We can alchemize anything. That's the reason why, and this is what's so funny. Men will demonize women all day long. Oh, well, women are on antidepressants and women are on anti-anxiety meds. Okay, and you're taking your own life because you had a hard day. Like, we're not going to sit here and try to make it seem as if living your life with a little medical help is this horrible person when you are hating your life so much that you can't live it. And then, not to mention, they'll talk about antidepressants. Okay, but are we not going to talk about how most alcoholics actually tend to be men? Most drug abuse comes from men. So they're self-medicating too. Okay, they're to avoid offing themselves, they're over here self-medicating too. So come on. Let's be real here. One form, and the reason why they see it as being demonized, The reason why they see you going to a therapist and getting on some type of anti anxiety or antidepressant or something like that is because they demonize therapy so much and they demonize getting help. They rather just go pick up a bottle or go buy some illegal drug from someone. Exactly. It's like, come on. Yeah. And the thing about it is that I've had men brag to me about that. I had one guy, this white guy, he was like, I told all my friends, I showed them a picture of you, and I'm so embarrassed to even say this because it's so cringe, and I wasn't even the one that said it. He was like, I showed all my friends a picture of you, and I told them that you look like Gabrielle Union. Like I went to middle school and high school with nothing but white men, and if you dealt with white men, I'm sorry, but that's such a white boy thing to say. Such such just an out of touch young white boy thing to say. Like what the fuck? And mind you, we weren't even together. Okay, we weren't even together or anything. I hadn't even slept with the man. I still haven't slept with this man. Just by me talking to him, he warranted that as fucking telling his friends and showing my picture and saying that I looked like Gabrielle Union. That's the thing. They think everybody looks like Gabrielle Union. Everybody. Like they rotate between like three token black girls that they know from like the early 2000s. And then they have like a rotation of like every black girl that looks like those few black girls. Trust me, they do it very often because I grew up around their asses. Grew up around their asses and they always do that. It's like, ciao, bye. What are we even doing? And you're showing off these pictures like, ciao. And here's the thing. I get it. Okay, but I get it to an extent. I get it to an extent. You know, if it's somebody that you're in a relationship with or that like you're married to, okay, that's obviously different. You know what I mean? Or like your children, that's obviously different. Bro, we haven't even it's always put in the cart before the horse. Why are you showing people my pictures and we're not even together? Why? You're it's clear you're just showing the pictures just for you to get validation from men because we're not even together. You're not even able to claim me on top of showing my picture. You're simply just showing it as a status symbol. Say you and your white friends could be like, "Oh yeah, that's a hot black girl," because you know if they talking like if you know a white man is comparing you to Gabrielle Union, any exactly Gabrielle Union, Beyonce, Halle Berry, child, you already know what the white with what his white friends are saying. She's hot for a black girl. Damn, she's hot. She's hot for a black girl. I already knew. I'm like, okay, forget it. Forget it. Yeah, I got rid of that situation real fast. He was trying to manifest a relationship, wishful thinker. You're packing for a white guy. Listen, one time, oh my God, this was so funny. Oh, this was a long time ago. This was back when dating apps were actually fun. Okay, because I started using dating apps in 2015. I stopped using them in 2023. No, I stopped using them in 2022. No, 2023. I started using dating apps in 2023. So I used dating apps between 2015 and 2023. Dating apps used to be a good time. Okay. Dating apps used to be so much fun. I used to have a ball with the dating apps. And so there was this guy that went on a date with, and this was during my whole phase. Okay. So there was this guy that I went on a date with. He was like kind of cute or whatever. And so what year was this? This is 2015. I remember this like it was yesterday. I had gotten like a wax or whatever. And like obviously my hair is fucking curly. And sometimes when you get waxes, occasionally you might get like a little ingrown hair or whatever, right? So it's time for us to go back to his place or whatever. And it's like, it's the grown up time. You know what I'm saying? And so he was like going down there and I could tell he was like hesitant or whatever. And I was like, what is the issue or whatever? So like he was like, no, there's no issue. So like he did it or whatever. And he had like said something and I'm like, oh, I'm like, I was like, I just got a wax. I was like, it's literally just the ingrown hair. Like it's like not anything. And like, but he was like weird. Like he kind of had an attitude about it. And so then once I saw what he had in between his legs, I was like, you're over. I literally told him, I was like, you're concerned about me having a fucking ingrown hair and you have that. That's what we're dealing with right now. And yeah, that didn't go over too well. I was like, I'm just gonna leave then, that just like came out. I was like, I'm just gonna leave. And then I felt bad and I was like, is there any way that I could like apologize? Like, he was like, you literally called my dick small. No. And you know what? I actually might have even slept with him still, but I know I walked myself out after saying that. It might have been before or it might have been after. But I know for a fact I said it because I definitely tried to walk it back. And he was like, you called my dick small. He was like, no. I've seen more meat on a vegan's plate. There's a few egos that I've crushed. There's definitely a few. Like there was another guy. I say it in ways, I try to find as many ways as I can say it without it being like mean. So there was one guy that I had kicked it with, and I told him, I said, this is not what I said, this is nowhere near what I was expecting. And he was so upset. I said, yeah, I said, it didn't go the way that I was expecting at all. He was like, wow, really? I was like, yeah, really. I was like, I had my hopes up. Don't be asking me for my opinion and expect me to not give my opinion because that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do, child. Oh, and that was one thing back in the day. Baby, I didn't give a fuck about cutting somebody off. I've been a savage. I was born a fucking savage. You couldn't tell me nothing on them dating apps. There was one guy, I'm telling y'all, this is my whole phase, okay? Like, I had a whole phase, okay? Like, I was free as a bird. So there was this one guy, we went on a date and we hooked up. And then he was talking about how he wanted to like go on another date or whatever. And so I said, okay. And mind you, he lived in the city and I literally had to drive into the city to go see this guy or whatever. So he had me on ice. Like he had me on ice for a little bit. And I was like, dude, I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I was like, I no patience either. But for me, it wasn't even about having no patience. You're not gonna fucking put me on ice. Okay? You're not gonna put me on ice and wait for me to thaw out and then deal with me once you decided that I thawed out. No. He was like, he was making all these excuses. And I literally texted him, I said, you want to know what? Fuck you. And then I blocked him immediately. I fucking blocked him immediately. When I tell y'all on them dating apps, I was a fucking savage. I was literally just dealing with these guys. And as soon as they pissed me off, I just quit dealing with them. My tolerance has just always been low for bullshit. That's the best thing that you can be as a woman. Just have a low tolerance for bullshit, okay? Don't be too patient. Don't be too understanding. Don't be too empathetic. Don't do any of that stuff. Be completely a villain. Be super impatient. Be super unempathetic. Don't be understanding. That's the way that you have to be if you're going to deal with men. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, you're never going to get hurt when you have that type of idea. Because guess what? A man that's really about you is never going to be testing your patience anyway. He's never going to be giving you reason after reason after reason to have to gain understanding. He's never going to give you a ton of sob stories for you to empathize with him. They're not going to do that if they're actually about you. A lot of the time, that's just them testing you. They're just that's literally them just testing you. A lot of that stuff that they're saying is just trying to test your temperature to see your boundaries and if you have any. Be impatient, unempathetic, and don't try to be understanding of them. I promise you. You're going to go through a lot less BS. A lot less BS. I kid you not, when I was dating even on the dating apps in 2022, if we didn't have a date set within a week of matching, nope. I don't need no talking phase. Okay. I don't need to talk to you for fucking 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. We're going to a public place. I'm discerning and I'm not fucking stupid. Get the date plan so I don't have to invest any more time. I'm not going to invest 3 weeks into talking to you, because guess what they're going to do with those 3 weeks? They're going to be nice to you for those 3 weeks. So that way, when they've invested 3 weeks into you and then you're across the table from them, you actually like them for real. You kind of start to like them. Nope. I need to be across from you when you haven't invested that much time. When we haven't invested that much time, that way I could take you for who you really are at face value. The more time, to me, is stupid, because a lot of women think that when you invest in all this time before going on the date, you're getting to know the real person. No, you're getting to know his representative. You're talking to him behind a phone. He can be whoever the fuck he wants to be behind a phone. Come on, only dumb men are going to portray themselves to be a terrible person before taking you out on a date. That would defeat the whole purpose of going after what their intended purpose is, which is to sleep with you. No, get in early. There's literally been guys I matched with and had a date the next fucking day. In a perfect world, that's how I would do it. We match, next day we go on a date. There's been plenty of times where I did that. We do a phone conversation that night, confirm that morning and then afternoon, and then have a date that night. It's no need for me to do all the rigmarole of investing all this time. It's easier for you to have a roster that way too. Get the date in early. You'll know if he's ugly in person, if he catfishing you, if he stank, if he don't know how to dress. You'll know all of that within 24 hours. And guess what? You can move on to the next quicker. I grew up being told if you bruise a man's ego and he ends himself, and it's my fault if he goes to HE double hockey sticks. I can't even believe the ways I let XY string me along. Now I'm 4B, but I hope they do. Child, that's one thing a man has never tried on me, because if you all can't tell already, clearly I'm a little bit heartless. I've never had a soul for these ninjas ever. So a man would already know just by dealing with me that if he tried to use that threat off of me, I'd be like, you need help? You want me to provide what form do you want to do this in? You need me to get the sheet from the bed? You need me to get a knife? You need me to get a pew? What way do you want to do this in? Okay, I'm there to support you. I'm whatever makes you happy. No man would ever dare. No man would ever dare tell me some shit like that, because that's literally how I would respond. How can I help you, sir? You need me to make you a cocktail with some you want me to crush some things up in there? You want it to go slow? You want it to go fast? How you want this done? Okay? Exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing too. Call men out on their bluff. When you aren't afraid to call men out on their bluff, you get to see how a lot of them are lying to you. What a lot of men will do, if you watch enough crime shows, a lot of criminals will do this when they're guilty of something. They'll be hiding something. They'll have a body in the basement, a body in the trunk. You can check the trunk, you can check in the basement. I don't have anything to hide, because they don't think that someone's going to call their bluff. Because it makes people feel uncomfortable when they're the ones trying to instigate and interrogate somebody. So what a lot of men will do, they'll be like, you can check through my phone. I'm not cheating on you. Check through my phone. No, I don't want to do. No, he said I could check through his phone. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to check through his phone. He told me I could, so I'm going to check through it. And then as soon as you go for that phone, you start paying attention to their body language. He looking all over. Don't open that app. Okay, you're clearly hiding something. You're clearly hiding something. Call their bluff out every single time. Call their bluff. And once you call their bluff, you're literally going to see how manipulative they are. They were only saying that and doing that because they're trying to use it as a form of manipulation. They're trying to use guilt. When people use fear, people use shame, people use guilt, they're trying to manipulate you. Those are low vibrational things to control people. Any person trying to use fear, shame, or guilt, they're trying to manipulate you. Send me the articles. Things like that is like what I will put on the community tab. I know I've been really bad about responding to emails lately, but the reason being is because I don't make a whole lot of reaction content these days. But I'm going to start making a little bit more of reaction content, but it'll be upload onlys. It won't be for live streams. So please send it to me, because I am going to start like checking my emails a little bit more and like using what you guys are giving me. But I had to think about it a little bit on how I was going to start tying in reaction content again, because I kind of miss doing it. But yeah, femicide is, I'm telling you, dealing with a man and wanting to be in close proximity to a man, it's a death sentence. It's a death wish. Honestly, it's a death wish at this point. I mean, it's terrible. And I've been watching a lot of true crime, like a lot of true crime. And yeah, like, oh my goodness. And I put them pieces together. They're like, I'm trying to think of a name, a good name to use. Howard was a 16-year veteran in the air, no, we're gonna say in the Marine Corps. And I'm like, yep, that motherfucker did it. 16-year veteran. Oh, he definitely did it. And I'd be right every time. I'd be right every single time. I'd be like, yep, his ass did it. All that PTSD he got. I just came across one where a girl was deleted by her boyfriend and his mother. Chow. And that's the thing too. The families don't hold the men accountable at all. I mean, there are mothers out there who are going to literally help their son bury another woman. I mean, it's sickening. It's sickening. That's why I'm like, forget it. Forget it. It'll just be me, myself, and I. Okay. It'll be me, myself, and I. Because statistically, it's even shown. As a woman, the person that's going to take your life is going to be your intimate partner. Okay. The strangers, the people that you don't know. The people that you don't know, those people are not going to pose as much of a risk to you. It's the people that you do know. And usually it's going to be the man. Please do a video about toxic mother and sister-in-law. Yes. Yes, like Brian Laundrie. I mean, his mom literally wrote a whole note saying that she would help him bury a body. And then when it came to Gabby Petito looking for her, I'm like, this is literally the same girl that was going to get married into y'all's family. Y'all are acting like we don't know anything. Yet the RV is in the goddamn driveway of your home. Like, what? That's why I'm like, no, the incestuous relationship between a lot of mothers and their sons is just, no, thank you. That's why I'm a mama's boy. I'm a mama's boy. Okay, well, go marry and date your mama then, because no. No, 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 no. Not dealing with that madness. Like, I was watching a case. I like Just Thought Lounge on YouTube. He has a really good channel, Just Thought Lounge, if you like true crime. He just did a case over Kaylee Juga. This girl was killed at 15 years old. High school boyfriend. Mind you, he's a black male with a white woman. Okay, they're both teenagers, both 15. Got in a relationship. They were in a relationship for 9 months, and he started being very controlling. She would have to keep her phone on at the house when she was doing homework. He was constantly keeping tabs on her. And mind you, her family opened up her home. They opened up their home to this guy. He spent all major holidays with her family. Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it. The stalking became out of control. The school got involved, and he cornered her in the hallway. And so then the staff got involved, and they said, you got one more time because she broke up with him. They said, you got one more time to do this, and then you're getting expelled. Went on ahead and did it another time, and he got expelled. He was homeless. Okay, he was homeless at a point during all this. He got expelled from school, kicked off with the teams because he was an athlete. He literally came. He was following them. He started to learn their schedule. So he started paying attention and standing outside of their house. So that way he knew when her dad wasn't going to be home, when she would come home from school. He started, clocking their schedule. It was her and her mom. They came home. The husband was at work, and then the younger brother was at school. He snuck in the garage because they had the door unlocked, snuck in the garage, came in, killed the ex-girlfriend, and then shot the mother twice. The mother ended up living, and then the daughter ended up dying. And why was his family still trying to cover for him? Because the cousin knew, there were people that knew what his plans were for his ex-girlfriend to kill her. There were women that knew what his plans were. He literally asked his cousin to help me take a hit out on this girl. And mind you, she was a juvenile. She was in juvenile detention at the time of the trial. And there was another cousin. She was like, I don't know how to think. She was like, I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I wouldn't want someone to do that to her, but I also don't want to believe that my cousin would do that. And she wasn't going to say anything. And it took for the police and the investigators to guilt her a little bit and give her a sense of empathy for her to think, how would you feel as a mother if someone did this to your 16-year-old daughter? It took for them to paint that picture for her to finally reveal what it was that her cousin did to that girl. And then I guess the mom was even acting out in court. They had to detain the mom because the mom was acting out of court, and pretty much like I've been watching a lot of true crime, and a lot of these, especially when they're younger, their parents, the parents are in such denial. They would never do that. he's a football player, he's a straight A student, he was in the military, he would never do that. And it's like, no, he would never do that in front of you. That's the difference. He would never do that shit in front of you. Just because he wouldn't do it in front of you doesn't mean that he wouldn't do it. And that's how a lot of men end up getting in those predicaments where they end up doing terrible, harmful things because they've given the impression to everybody that they would never do it. And then their family just is like, no, that would never happen, in utter disbelief, complete denial. And it's like, no, this is what a lot of their children are actually out here doing. And the parents won't do anything about it. It's like, come on. Y'all, it's getting late. It's getting late and I need my beauty sleep. I might be on here a little bit more this week, just simply because I can't really poll at all this week. I can't poll for real this week. So I'll probably be on here a little bit more. I know I kind of skimmed on the live streams a lot this week, or this month, I mean. But I'm going to get off of here. Tell me what y'all want me to talk about next. Put it in the comments. What do you guys want me to talk about next? So that I can give you all whatever topics you all want me to talk to me. And I didn't even know Rihanna had new lip products. Maybe I'll do it while I'm talking about something. I have to look because I have so much makeup. It's ridiculous. But I have to look to see what she got. But yeah, I am going to talk to you all next time. I hope you all enjoyed the live stream. Don't forget to like, subscribe. You can go in my link tree and look at all that good stuff. I did post on the Patreon today. I posted twice today. I've been having issues with I had issues with my phone, couldn't get a new phone. So I had to delete all of my freaking voice memos and stuff like that. So that way I could have enough room and storage. So that way I could be able to even have the Patreon app. I couldn't even have the goddamn app. I had no space in my phone. So I'm really going to be heavy on posting more content for Patreon this week. I promise. That's like my main priority because I hate neglecting y'all over there. So, yeah. So I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.